Ahoy hoy folks, good morning, good afternoon and good evening wherever you are in the world. My name's Sean, aka Uncle Frogface, and welcome to today's video. If you're new here, then welcome. If you're not new, then welcome back. Today we are revisiting December's ScrawlrChallenge. We've already done the unboxing for this. If you haven't seen that, check out the video up there somewhere and see what's inside this box, and then come back and see what we're going to do with the box. So the challenge for this month is Chaos Confined. So that is the ScrawlrChallenge. Focus, there we go. Chaos Confined. So unlike other times, I actually have an idea for this one. Not only that, it involves some maths, which is going to be fun. For those of you who don't know, I did used to be a teacher, and maths was one of my predominant subjects, along with art and music and drama. Yes, and it is also my birthday today. I won't tell you how old I am, but I'm treating myself to a little extra tool to use today. But let's turn this around, and I'm going to make myself a little birthday present, and let's get stuck straight in. Okay, here we are. So this is the December 2022 Scrawler box. Okay, tell me the truth. How many of you have already said 2022 to someone when they meant 2023? I still haven't got used to it being 2023. Yeah, but the supplies for this month, we have got the Eddings acrylic markers, which someone pointed out they do have colour names on them right there in tiny, tiny writing. I still haven't got my eyes tested, but I definitely need to. Maybe that's something I'll treat myself to for my birthday. Yeah, so we've got the black, we've got telemagenta, we've got opulent turquoise, and we have got traffic yellow. So these are kind of the main art supply. We've also got the standard Norris School Stedler pencil in yellow and black, a HB, and we've got the Unipin fine liner, which is a 2.0 chisel tip. Looks like that. It's very nice. We have our ScrawlrZine and all that good stuff. I have eaten the sweets. And then of course we had this white card. So you hopefully will remember me saying that I'm always disappointed with the card and the paper that comes with markers, and we've had a few markers over the last year with ScrawlrBox. There are issues with the paper with ScrawlrBox in that they just don't match the product fairly often, unless it's Frisk paper. Frisk generally is quite good. So I am going to keep this paper for something else. And instead, since it's my birthday, I'm going to make myself a little present, as I said. So the prompt is Chaos Confined. So I have a few friends and we regularly play games, and those games are chaos. I mean, they actually are. I've got a friend, Sam, if you're watching, I'm going to tell everyone now, but you are Uno obsessed. We can't visit them without playing a game of Uno. But we also have friends who find it almost impossible to roll dice without them going off the table. So I am going to turn this ScrawlrBox into a functional item. I'm going to make this ScrawlrBox a dice rolling box. So first thing I need to do is I'm going to turn the camera off quickly, and I need to cut off the lid of this box so that I've got a nice tray. Dice tray, that's it, not dice box, a nice dice tray. And then I will show you what I'm going to do on the inside of it. So I'll be back in just a second. Ta-da! There we go. Right, so I've cut the lid off, and I've also just put a little tiny bit of glue in each of these corners, just because this is a functional item and I don't want it to break that easily. Right, now we've got our tray. This is where some of the extra bits come in. So I'm treating myself today. I know I usually only use the supplies that are in the box, but I think most of this, particularly if you're at school or you've been at school, you probably have this around the house, or you've got kids who go to school. So this is a slightly fancy protractor. So it's a circle marker, but I also have 360 degrees marked all the way around the edge, which can make things very easy for me. And I have a ruler, and that's all. So first thing I want to do is, oh, there we go. My idea, by the way, is I want to do a D20 design in the bottom of this dice tray. So first thing I need to do is find where the center point of the box is, which I roughly think is about here. So I'm just going to mark that with a dot, and then I'm going to line up my protractor with the 360 degrees pointing upwards. Okay, that's about right. So we've got 360, we've got 180. So for a D20, I want to mark every 60 degrees. There we go, 60, 120, 180, 240, and 300. There we go. Can I see those marks clearly? Yes, I can. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this as a straight line, and I'm going to slightly extend them afterwards. Right, so just so I've got the marks in. Most of this will either be rubbed out or painted over later, so you're really not going to see it at all. But for any of you who have ever wondered how to draw a D20, which is also known as an icosahedron, for those of you math nerds out there, this is how you do it. So I was always taught to do it in eighths, and this is how I would teach it in schools as well. Actually, this one is exactly 8 centimeters. And I'm just going to do that on each of these lines and make sure they match up to 8 centimeters. There we go. Right, so I've got that marked out. I'm not sure how clearly you can see this, but it's kind of a proper tutorial. Right, so what I want to do now is every other line, so I'm going to choose this one, this one, this one. I want to mark 5 centimeters from the middle. So if I go 8 here, because it's going to be difficult to do otherwise, I'll mark it where it's 3, and then that is 8 centimeters. I'm going to do the same on this one. And I'm going to do the same on this one, and this should be everything I need to be able to draw a D20. Right, so first thing I'm going to do is join up the outside lines. Does my ruler fit in? Just about. Okay, so I've got those. So now, where I have the 5s, this is where I want to join these lines up. So from here to the next outside edge. So it's from there to there, and from here to here. There we go. And I'm going to do that going all the way around. Okay, now for getting this mistake, which I'll rub out in a minute, we have this section now. We need to join up these 3 points as well. Nice and simple, these are the last 3 lines. Here, and here to here. Right, that is our icosahedron. That is our D20 all drawn in. So that is going to be the basis for our design. I'm going to clean up some of these lines just to make it a little bit clearer for myself, and I'll be back in just a moment. Right, there we are. That is the design now fleshed out, and this really is what I'm going with, and then I'm just going to elaborate from here. So first thing I need to do is to start colouring this in, and I think it's time now we go to a time lapse, and I'll describe what's happening as it's happening. I will see you on the other side. So we are starting with these acrylic markers These are the Eddings acrylic markers, and I said I was going to have a look and actually come back to you with the prices of these. So I do have some prices on the ScrawlrBox menu. The Eddings 5100 or 5100 acrylic markers, they have them down as being £3.99 each. So I have done searching and the price of them is £3.98 each. So actually only a penny difference per marker, which I was quite surprised at, honestly, because it's been so off with other stuff recently. Also have the Unipin Black Chisel Fine Liner, £2.59. That was a little bit more of a difference, £2.49, so only 10 pence. The paper, as I've said before, you know, it's arbitrary because it's their own branded paper. And the Norris pencil, 80p, I've definitely seen them for 40. But genuinely, actually priced correctly in this month's menu. So I have to say, well done ScrawlrBox. It's something that I'm always harping on about with these boxes, and I'm very happy with them. So how do they actually perform? Well, you can see, so it says on here, I think it says that they are semi-opaque. They're actually fairly opaque. Obviously different colours, different pigments have different levels of opacity. Yellow is notoriously difficult to get good coverage with unless it's on a lighter colour, so basically on a base of white. So with this, going over the cardboard where there is writing on it as well, coverage is not great. However, laying it on top of the other paints, coverage very good. So they kind of go in a spectrum here. Black has the highest opacity, the turquoise is the next, the magenta is a little bit less, and then the yellow has the worst opacity. It's the most transparent, but it's nothing that can't be fixed. Usually I would, you know, bash one of these challenges out in 20 minutes and just finish with whatever has happened, unless I'm really, you know, lost in what I'm doing, which does occasionally happen. This one, this is something for myself that I'm actually going to use, so I'm spending a bit more time on it, so I'm not worried about having to go over. You can see with this turquoise just how opaque it is. The coverage is very, very good. So with all of these, I've gone over and I've let it dry and then gone over and done additional coats. Really didn't need to do that at all with the turquoise, just a couple of little patchy bits. The magenta needed one additional coat to get a really nice coverage, and the yellow took 2 additional coats, so 3 coats in total. One thing I will say, like with any acrylic marker, make sure it is fully dry before attempting a second coat, because all you'll end up doing is lifting up the first coat and having to go over multiple times. This is where a hairdryer really does come in handy. But you'll see in just a second. So here we are after the first coat, let it dry, come back, and this is what happens when we layer up the paints. They layer really well. So I'm outlining in black, but this is over corrugated cardboard, so the corrugations in the cardboard mean that trying to get a straight line is difficult enough as it is. Plus, with my neurology, my brain injuries, sometimes getting a straight line is not always the easiest thing to do. Sometimes speaking is not always the easiest thing to do. So I've decided to go for a very kind of almost Bob Burger's lining thing here, which is where you have some straight, thick, full lines, and others are broken up with dashes and dots. Seriously, pause a frame of Bob's Burgers and have a look at some of the background, and you'll see this used a lot, and it is really nice. It's something that I've definitely adopted in some of my line work. So now I'm going, so with the magenta, I'm putting turquoise dots. With the yellow, I'm doing magenta dots, and with the turquoise, I'm doing yellow dots. So kind of transitioning through them, just to again add a little bit more of that chaos and a little bit of definition to each of these. I didn't want just plain block colours. It would have looked absolutely fine, and actually if I'd taken into account the contrast in the colours, then actually the magenta is the darkest and the turquoise is the mid-tone and yellow is the lightest tone. So I could have done yellow at the front, then the turquoise, then the magenta, and that would have given a three-dimensional look with the actual tones of the piece. But again, I'm really not worried about that, and I really want the magenta in the middle. But another good thing to take into account, in fact, if you take these colours and you take a picture of the swatches and then turn it into a black and white picture, you will see the difference in the tones. They're actually a really nice tonal variation. So I wanted to cover up the rest of the writing, so I'm doing good old-fashioned Kirby Crackle, which I love because I've married a Kirby. I don't think he's a relation to Jack Kirby, but Jack Kirby was a Marvel illustrator, and he created this kind of background fill technique which is still used in comic books to this day, and it's called the Kirby Crackle. And you literally just use interconnected circles and they break away from each other. You have big ones, little ones, they intersect with each other, you get crescents and all sorts. But it's a really good way of filling in background and not just having a block of colour. It gives a little bit more interest. So yeah, I'm very happy with this box, and I'm very happy with the supplies, and I'm equally happy with how this box is shaping up this whole project. So as I said, yes, it is my birthday today, as in the day that this video is going out. I filmed this on the 9th, this is going out on the 10th, which is actually my birthday, so taking a day off. If you send me a message or comment on this video, which I will always encourage you to do, happy birthday might be nice. It might take me a little bit longer than usual to reply. I think I'm just going to have a nice relaxing day tomorrow and chill out and actually have a day off. Although I am going to the gym. Well, that's fairly relaxing. A bit of aqua aerobics, that'll be fine. But yeah, you may have noticed we've added gaming to the channel. So my current schedule as it stands, Tuesdays, art videos, Fridays, gaming videos, but those gaming videos are art themed. So we're currently playing Possible 2, The Starving Artist. Next video will be going out on Friday, and that is the second part of Act 1. Having a lot of fun with it. If you've got any tips or anything for that game as well, please do let me know. But it's fun to have just a bit of downtime and a bit of gaming on the channel as well. But we're coming to a close on this, and I was very undecided at this point whether I wanted to add any numbers, but I thought, you know what, I will. I'm just going to add one. I'm just going to add a 20 to one side. I thought either the 20 or the 1, but I decided to go for the 20, and this is a good chance to use that chisel marker. And there we go. We have the issue with the corrugated cardboard. So nice flexible nib, wants to get in all of those dips and those divots. So this was actually a little bit more difficult to do. But yeah, this is pretty much done. So I'm going to leave you here with a shot of my grey hair, and I'll catch you in just a moment. There we are, all finished. So here it is. Here is our recycled Scrawlrbox box, which is now a dice tray. So I want this to last, so I am actually going to give this a bit of a spray with some sealer when I get a chance. Or I could put just a bit of plastic sheet in the bottom, just something to protect the paint, because I'm not sure how well it would hold up to actually having dice rolled in it. Well, that's not too bad. Nice. But yeah, there we go. That's a little birthday present to myself from me using this month's Scrawlrbox supplies. I was actually pleasantly surprised with these products. I don't think I have anything negative to say other than the paper. I don't think I have anything negative to say about December 2022 Scrawlrbox. As always, I really hope you've enjoyed today's video, and until next time, goodbye.